What's good, everybody? Back once again, and follow up from the most fantabulous, great uh, Secret Invasion. I don't even have enough words to say. I was like, man, it's crazy how I went from, oh, it's a pretty good show. Show's okay. Show's alright. It's fine. To I watched the show. Yeah, no, I was like, I especially then after seeing everybody else's and their videos and stuff like that. Even some of the people that were hyped, that was like actually liked the show way more than what I sort of got. I was like, it was fine, but it's not that. Even them by the end of it was like, not only did the season finale ruin or like destroy the taste in your mouth, but I was like, I seen a couple of them, and I was like, oh, I guess it maybe wasn't that good at all. But anyway, and I'm like, no, 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 not really. I was like, to me, I was like, after episode one, I was like, what I thought that I was like, okay, cool, we get this, we in there. And then after that, it was just kind of like, okay. Anyway, but what the ending sort of did revolve, other than just the fact that Gaia has every power known to us at this point. So I guess basically, I was like, it's not just a super scroll, it's a super scroll. It sounds like some anime stuff, but it's also this whole thing that everybody's talking about with Rhody. And if this is sort of like Rhody, where I was like, so the whole thing is that this is Rhody, that Rhody been taken over by a scroll pretty much since Civil War, and I'm like, that's too much. I was thinking, I was like, okay, cool. I get if it was like, during the blip maybe, or after Endgame. I can get that. I can understand that. But from all the way to Civil War, that seems like a lot, considering so much that was done in that. Like I said, if it's the blip, we don't really know what happened in those years when there was like when half of the people were gone. So anything could have really been going down. We don't really know necessarily hit the like how he sort of really developed. Cause we really just start seeing him when he talking to Ross about pretty sure it's like, but when they was like arrest him and he didn't, of course, and they had to do the whole time travel adventure thing. But even then, I was like, but see, that will be weird in itself, even that. So to me, I was like, it makes a lot more sense if it was after Endgame, after everybody came back or something, just because of like the time travel you did with basically not all your friends, but the motive you had of getting everyone back, playing that role. I was like, but then you go back even further, and the fact of like, his accident and then the rehabbing of the accident, because you have to imagine that Tony probably not only developed that little like exoskeleton thing for him, but also helped him with some of his rehab. So that constant everyday thing, and then the fact that it's like, fighting with Tony dying, Cap and Natasha and those things, that it's kind of like, it's like, okay, cool. So now we're gonna try to explain to him the last like what 10 years that he's been in that, and also like I'm like, when did they capture? Did they capture him and they just put him there? He's just been there the whole time. Did they have like other facilities that was, and they like transport him or whatever? Like, how did it work? How did they, I guess, get it to work where he was like that close to the president? Why didn't they just take the president if that's the case, instead of just once Rhodey got that close? But I don't know. That just seems. I mean, like, I get it that Rhodey was really one of the few people that I feel like they could change, that would have made some type of impact on us, or felt a type of way. And I was like, I also feel like the thing is like we were probably gonna have this problem anyway, depending on whoever they switched out for. We was going to have this issue of, well, how do we explain to them the last 10 years when they've been a constant person in our MCU life? So you're going to run into the problem anyway. But I guess it's just I was like, so that's why I just think that's odd. Now, because he just had, I was like, everybody doing it based on the whole gown thing. But to me, I'm like, I was like, I guess, any point that you're in the hospital, they got to put you in a gown so you could be in the hospital at any time. But I was like, I don't know how that necessarily going to work here on out. I don't. I like, and not that I don't think like I was like I feel like the other parts of the show that I was like that's dumb. Where I'm like I think this is dumb, but I don't know what else really could have been done. That is me. There are probably other people that got something figured out or a better way of doing it or like a better person than mine. But I guess I'm like the way that Rhodey and his character had to evolve, you know, uh, that's was always going to sort of be a problem with any character. It's just that I feel like it's just lackluster when you with top with everything else. I think that's really what it is. I think if that was like the one blemish maybe of the show, you could probably be like, oh, okay, cool, and you have an optimistic approach of being like, well, what does this mean? How did this go? What did that retcon and stuff like that? But now it's like it leaves a sour taste that you're like, oh man, how are they gonna change this in the past? Does that mean this? Does that mean that? Like, but I don't know. Just sort of, I was like, just sort of rambling with those thoughts. I guess, I was like, there's other parts of the show that I feel like a little more like, yeah, you know, like I said, Gaia being the ultra super powerful person. Uh, I was like the whole fight sequence. Yeah, no, it was quite a bit, but yeah, I was like, Rhodey being a scroll was like, all right, cool, we got it. What else are y'all gonna do with it? And nothing in the show they didn't develop in there really well. Thus meaning that, it was like cool. I was like, man, or maybe they should just kept him being like a scroll, like he gets away or something, or they never found Rhodey or something like that. But maybe that would have been the better way instead of just Rhodey not popping up and just being like, oh, what do I do? I gotta figure out my life back over again, and I don't know. It's just a sad sandwich. Uh, but I think I think the dumb part will be having it that far back more so than any game. I was like, I was like, just because I was like, it seemed like it's so messy of water to try to go back that far for a character that's been in that like he's been a lot more connected than we sort of just assume. I know he always play like the second fiddle to Iron Man, uh, but I'm like, especially with like Armor Wars coming up, and I guess that coming off of this, basically that maybe the scroll him did something to jeopardize some like start tech and stuff like that Rhodey gotta like come correct about. But yeah, no, I was like, it's very very odd. It's very very odd. Yeah, but yeah, and another thing too, I was thinking about too that I'm like, it didn't fully bother me at first because I'm like, oh, okay, cool. When Gaia was Nick Fury talking to Gravik, then after a while, it was kind of like, how did he? I'm like, unless Fury just gave her such a deep dive and backstory, how did she know all that stuff about Fury without being hooked up to one of those devices and linked up to where you get the memories and the stuff from the people? Like, how did she know what Gravik was going to say enough, and how did he get enough of backstory for Fury in order to have that conversation? I feel like that didn't fully so that to be a flip that it was like it's like that was sort of just meaningless along with Gravik dying being meaningless, where I would have liked him to stay a character as well. I felt like he also didn't get his just due. He started out like a threat, then he just ended up being a joke. And I feel like also with the Nick Fury part 2, that also just sort of being a joke along with everything else. Because I was like, like what I seen Fury stop the punch. I was like, oh snap! Did the machine give Fury power? So I was like, I guess dumb on my part for thinking that. But then I was like, well, that also seems stupid. Nick Fury, who's been in this thing the whole time without power, now they're gonna give him power. No, that's not make. Oh, that makes sense. It's another. It's this guy, and I was like, oh. I mean, it shit. I mean, damn, it'd probably even be better if it would have been Fury actually in there dying, but he just somehow rigged it to explode or something like that. Who knows? Something would have been better. Otherwise, that would have sort of wasted. Anyway, enough of me just rambling here and talking about Marvel just poo-pooing everything that we all watch at this rate. Anyway, if you liked anything or got any ideas of your own or thoughts, I was like, I appreciate to hear them. Also, I appreciate you watching this video. If you didn't like it, hey, maybe next time. But until then, peace. I'm out.